Monday Night Football. We are live. Another episode of the Lions Den podcast. Present Monday, post Liga MX weekend, as Liga MX was back last weekend, which means Leon plays, which that just makes all of us happy, especially because they won. So definitely a Victory Monday feeling here at the Lions Den podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. We have lots of content to talk about today. Jose is running a little bit late, but Javier, Louis, and Carlos are present tonight. Guys, how are we feeling tonight?
Pretty good.
Great, Cody. How are you?
Very happy and great.
Good.
And cold. But great.
It seems like Jose just joined us.
Oh,
there he is.
Legendary Jose.
Jose, how are we feeling tonight?
Good. How are you guys? Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
We just started.
Okay.
Just on time.
Awesome. Just on time. So, like I said, Victory Monday. Obviously, we are all super stoked to talk about what went down Saturday night. Louis was present live in color, and he bought the new controversial kits. Louis, talk to us about that thought process.
Yeah.
Why?
Very brave.
I may have made you guys think I didn't really like it, and that's not really untrue. I don't really like it, but I will never let them come out with a new official kit, and without adding it to my collection. That's just not something that's ever going to happen. I want to have every official kit that's been used since I started following the team, and with the exception of maybe the very first season, I have done that. I have every single kit, and all of them personalized as well, that has come out since the Clausura 2014 when I started attending matches. So whether they're ugly or not, that's a matter for debate. I think it's pretty universal this time around that it's not really to the liking of pretty much anybody, but that doesn't matter. I need it for my collection, so it was never really a question for me that I was going to stop by La Guarida and pick one up for myself. I will say that it looks a little less ugly in person.
Okay, fair enough.
In photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We had it right in front of you, so you can kind of let us know how.
You never
how
know.
It looks live.
You never know.
Also, the Pirma era is coming to an end. If they do come out with one more for the Conca Champions, that'll be the last possibly ever Pirma jersey that they ever make for Leon. But this is the second to last at least. So these we're getting down to the wire historic.
Jose, what do you feel about that? Because you tweeted something about.
No, I mean, I mean that's what I hear, but then everyone else is saying, "Oh, no, wait, no, but Pirma's got 2 years."
Yeah, 2 years, and then I'm hearing both.
So I'm like, I don't know who to believe. I honestly, I'm all out for like going.
I hope it's the last. I hope like me personally, but then again, I'm not mad at Louis. Like, go ahead, like Louis. You never know. Maybe like in 100 years, that's going to be like the only ever jersey of that one left because it was so ugly. Everybody burned it, and you have it. So you're the only one. It's like $1 million now.
Yeah.
So keep it. Go ahead. Don't ever lose it.
And what if like with other kids before it, like because even the one for the 6th campeonato, like when it came out, like tell me how many people actually liked it.
Oh yeah,
like when it first came out.
That one. Yeah, the one
like
with
people didn't like it. Yeah, like with the stripe right in the middle.
Yeah,
they didn't like it, right?
A lot of people didn't like it. Yeah, but now it's kind of like iconic if you think about it. Like,
if
you think about
probably the iconic jersey of.
And the same with the 7th.
The pink one, I was kind of like, why? But okay, now it's part of whatever.
Yeah,
we beat Pachuca with a pink Leon jersey. Do that.
Yeah, well, I've heard enough things from enough people to make me think that it's probably true that whether they have a contract still with Pirma, they'll probably buy their way out of it. Just like they all these players who are on contract that can be bought out. Well, a contract with a jersey sponsor can also be bought out. And I've heard it from enough people that I think we probably will be with Charlie. next
Charlie Football.
cycle. They're not, to be honest, they're not that much better. I mean, their designs are also kind of hit and miss, and they're also slightly more expensive. But we'll see. Give them the benefit of the doubt. If we do sign with them, I'll be very excited to see what they come up with for our next jersey design. But that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a racing brand, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, they are. They are definitely a rising brand, and they're also a local brand. I don't know if their main headquarters is here, but they have.
Yeah, it is.
They're based out of.
They are from Leon.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they only came out with cleats until Club de Cuervos came out, and then they started doing Club de Cuervos, and then slowly started emerging into Liga MX. But now I think it's just insane. It's like, what, 75% of the team is Charlie? All the teams are Charlie now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of players like Gignac is a Charlie client,
Boselli when he
Boselli was for a while. Then he switched to Puma, but he was for a while. A lot of the big name players who are playing in Mexico signed on with Charlie. So we'll see where that goes.
Gignac is getting if he switched from Adidas to Charlie. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean,
he must be getting a lot.
It's a fast growing company. It's local, so there could be a lot of good things that come from that if it happens.
Yeah.
I was reading an article how they are taking away all the business from big name brands. Like, they're actually going head to head with big name brands. And that's pretty incredible, especially for a brand. I mean, I look at the date, like when they were founded. I just never heard about them before, but I guess they've been around for a while.
Yeah. Well, I think they only started making inroads into Liga MX not that long ago.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what it is.
Who sponsors Queretaro? Is it Charlie Football too?
Think it is. I think they switched, didn't they?
No?
Did they?
Yeah, but I think they just switched.
It was Puma.
I thought it was Charlie.
Me too, because the jersey they have.
I think it was Puma, but then they switched to Charlie this season.
Okay.
See, and this new jersey that they have. I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, it reminds me of Inter de Milan or whatever." Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. But I mean, I think I agree with Louis. Charlie would be a little one step above Pirma. To be honest, I never liked Pirma, and I always knew they were like a local brand, so let's support Pirma. But I do think Leon deserves something better. That's just. I mean, my opinion.
Charlie's still local. So they can still keep it local, but then go with a little bit slightly better, I think, in my opinion.
Because if you think about the comparison, Pirma and Charlie, who does Pirma have? Leon and Celaya?
San Luis and Morelia.
San Luis and Morelia.
Oh, yeah.
Pirma used to be like Charlie before. Like, they used to have a lot of teams in first division and the Santos as well. That I remember, but now
I'm not even mad at Pirma, to be honest. I'm more mad at the cement, dude. Like, we need to get rid of the cement. Let's talk about that. That's the real question.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's not the real. I feel you, but we know that's not gonna happen. At least I hope, please, at least make it less noticeable. I doubt it, but
that Carlos did.
They've been
against having
their
not
logo
in your face, in your face,
yes, exactly. Like, just if they do the outline, I'm okay with it. But but this. Yes, exactly.
Look how pretty this one was with no cement, dude. Just that said.
Oh my god, look at that!
And then just this, we transition
no.
It's
we have a.
It's like, guys, it's kind of like it's a Club León or it's a Club Cementos Fortaleza.
Literally.
Yeah.
Club Cemento, dude. I feel like does Pachuca have it that big? I don't even think so, huh?
I think they made it smaller, but that's a thing. Like, I don't get why they get to get the smaller one and we get to get the huge.
Why do we get big cement?
We need more money.
Well, also,
the bigger the logo, the sponsor, the
bigger
more money it is.
More money.
I think that Cemento's logo blends in better with
Let it
the
just be Club
Pachuca
Deportivo
color scheme
Cemento.
too. It blends in better with the Pachuca color scheme than it does with ours. Also, that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, that's true.
But
We have a comment on the chat. Fíjate Agam said, ¿Qué tal la Ruge Melenudos? In short, only Pirma bothers you or the other 18 sponsors?
I just said it, bro. The real question was always cement.
Yeah.
You know, that really bothers
Yeah.
me.
Well, yeah,
Top
that's the main one. I don't mind the other ones, but
I don't mind the other
that
ones.
dude in the front, yeah,
Yeah.
he's just
Like, who do you think he is? You know, he's just.
All right, guys, we're getting way too out of topic with this cement, dude.
Sorry.
Let's switch the JJ Macias segment to Cement Dude segment just every
God.
week. Like, what do you think about Cement Dude?
He also said, it seems to me that you forget to mention that design has to be approved by the club to go on sale.
Well, it does.
Who, though?
It does.
Who?
You're right, but
I mean, does the Prezi approve it or someone else?
Well, it's not.
Oh,
just
that's
that.
such a good question.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's that the way each sponsor is represented has to be approved by that sponsor as well, and then it has to be approved by the club. So, for example, Cementos Fortaleza did not approve having their logo in monochrome; it had to be in full color. So that just otherwise they would lose that sponsor if they didn't agree to have it presented in full color. So he's right. There are a lot of other factors that go into it. So, it's easy to rag on Pirma, but I guess they do the best they can.
Yeah. That is true. Well, guys, switching topic because we spent 11 minutes talking about the cement, dude. Let's go ahead and dig into what we're talking about. I know, first segment, Leon versus Queretaro, week 1. We were all pretty sophisticated with the scoreboard last week. We all said 2-1, which seems pretty reasonable, and we ended up winning 3-1. So our lineup for that game, Cota and Go, Navarrito, center back duo, Tecillo and Steven Barreiro. Left back, Jairo Moreno, Montes and Aquino duo in the center, Mena on one wing, Meneses on the other, Sosa and Leo Ramos. I think is pretty much what we all kind of predicted was going to look like. How do we feel about this lineup? Was there any surprises to you guys, or did we think yes? But I mean, you guys said Barreiro was going to start. I didn't think would be the best option, but he did. So, what do we think?
Yeah, it was exactly what I thought, but then like last minute, what I said here, it was exactly what I thought, but like. Later on, I thought he might have like start Osvaldo because I heard like some people saying that he might start Osvaldo Bellairo, but he didn't end up doing it anyway. But other than that, I didn't see any surprises. I don't know about you guys.
I think that's pretty close to our once ideal. I think, with the exception of Barreiro, I want him to be a depth piece, not a starter. And nothing about this game obviously made me change my opinion about that. I think he's very, very mediocre. I think he's fine as a depth piece. I think it's good to have. It's fine to have him if pretty much any other center back pairing we could put out there gets injured or suspended or whatever. But I would have preferred Ramiro or even Herrera or even Nacho, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Ramiro.
But apparently, it seems like they're set on having Barreiro be the guy. So I think we better get used to seeing him there unless he gets hurt.
Yeah. I think it was exactly how I could imagine it. Maybe I think I like Sosa and Campbell starting.
Yeah.
But Ramos, it's like I think Jose said this in the last podcast. He said Ramos cost a lot, so we should try to like always put him de titular to see what he can give us. Did he get injured? I'm not really sure what happened after he.
Not seriously, no.
It was just
standing on the sideline.
So he might start
on the sideline, ready to come back in, but then he saw that he was getting subbed out. So
okay, yeah.
But no, he was ready to come back in. Yeah.
All right, so it's it's
fine.
Perfect,
And Yeah, I liked the way the front looked. I thought that attacking front had a lot of synergy. I think I think guys are going for it a little bit more now that they're not trying to get goals from Macias.
Mm-hmm.
I think all these guys are kind of able to let their talent or their ability flow out a little bit more. I saw Mena going for it way more than he did at a lot of points last season. Not so much his first season, but last season he I don't know, kind of seemed like he had his foot off the gas pedal, kind of letting other guys take over. That I thought he was really engaged last night, and when he's really engaged, that means good things for us. Sosa had kind of a quiet night, but he was in the Meneses had kind of a quiet night. There wasn't a lot going up the left channel, but in general, I like the way the attacking front looked. And I think we got a lot of good options there. There's always going to be somebody you have to leave on the bench. Last night it was Campbell, but that's good. I mean, with all the games and the Conga Champions that we have to play, it's nice to have those kind of options and those kind of variantes. And when Campbell came in, I thought he affected the game positively.
Yes.
So it's not a bad thing to have to leave one of those guys on the bench, because then you have that option who can come in and affect things. I thought the attacking front was good. I thought the defense, once they settled in, first 20 minutes or so were really iffy. We looked so vulnerable on the counter again. Guys like Fabian Castillo were killing us. If Queretaro still had all their hot shots from last season, like Akeloa and Escoboza and all those guys who can be dangerous, they hadn't got rid of those guys, it might have been different. They would have had more guys who could take advantage of our weaknesses in the counter. But as it stood, I think they settled in and they were able to shut that down a little bit as the game went on. Querétaro was getting fewer chances on the counter, and defensively, they, except for that horrible blunder, which conceded the original at the beginning, the first goal. Yeah. I think that the defense was pretty. They settled in. They settled in and got pretty solid. I thought Navarro and Tecillo especially had maybe one of their best defensive games in a long time, and it made a huge difference. Especially Tecillo making up for Barreiro's mediocrity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
yeah.
It's really rare
like
when Tecillo has a bad game. It's really rare of him to have a bad game. And like Louis said, I'm not convinced in Barreiro 100%.
But he have a disengaged game, like where he's not really in it, where he just feels like his heart's not in it. That's more common. But an out and out bad game, not so much. But this felt like a good game, like a really, really good game from him.
Yeah. Like even a few times, Kota like approaching and talk to him, like just to so they came to understanding to like when she should go out, when she should stay, because he was, I don't know, he was a weakling in defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, defensively, I'm not, especially that, the early goal, minute 6, I was like, here we go again. Like, I was just, expecting the worst. But like Louis said, I think it's come a while to kind of settle in, kind of get the groove of the game. And I think the big question that was on Twitter was, did VAR, well, actually Vucetich, because he's the one that said it in post-conference, that El VAR favoreció más a León. What do you guys think in response to that? Do you think yes? Do you think no?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. You live by the VAR and you die by the VAR. This time we lived by the VAR. So sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. This time it did. It really was a very borderline call. It could have gone either way. Yeah. But I would have understood why if they would have called it against us as opposed to in our favor.
Exactly.
So,
and they didn't call the first one. I think it was a handball too for Ramos too on the first goal scoring chance that we had. Remember that one?
I don't.
Because they said that it should have been reviewed, but it wasn't, because I guess like the referees were trying to not use the VAR as much this season. So
yeah, I mean, I think over the course of a season you're gonna get burned by it as much as you're helped, just like Carlos has always been saying. I mean, so I think complaining about it is pretty petty at this point. It's not going anywhere. It's it's part of the game now. Yeah. But over the course of the season, it's going to help you as much as it hurts you. and it's going to get more calls right than would have been otherwise. So I don't know. I don't see the point in complaining about it, or certainly not citing it as a reason that your team was at a disadvantage in the game. I think its use last night was, the calls could have gone either way. They might have been a little bit borderline, but I also think they were correct in the end. I think the correct calls were made in the end. So I don't know. I think Vucetich can lay off the complaining about the VAR. He should complain to his front office to his front office for selling off half their starting lineup when they had a really competitive team.
Yeah.
They clearly went all in last season, and they're like, well, we're either going to get it this time or we're going to sell these guys off. That's just what teams like Queretaro do. Unfortunately, we're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Leon could take that approach too, but they've tried to keep the band together for the most part, for better or worse. But Queretaro clearly, they were like, so their response to having a good season, perhaps an unexpectedly good season, was to sell off the players who were unexpectedly good that made that such a good season. Well, that's what Vucetich should be complaining about, not VAR that correctly awarded us a PK.
Yeah, and I think there's no worse call than what we got called off for in quarterfinals. So that's like the absolute worst call of all.
Yeah.
So nothing can ever top that off. You know what I mean?
It is what it is.
Also, the second PK, they went to VAR to review what I thought might have been for the PK, but no, it was to see if it was a possible red for the offending player, which they decided it wasn't. So they could have sent off a Querétaro player and didn't because of it. So I don't know. It helped him too. The game was pretty much lost anyway at that point for them. But I think it's not going anywhere. It's going to help you as much as it hurts you. Why complain about it?
True. It's true. It's happened to us. Like, Carlos Louis has said, it's going to help us, going to kill us. It's going to drive us crazy. But Mena, what a way for Mena to step up. I've always had this theory, and I've talked about it with Tom before, about in a game when, you obviously, you coach designs designates a player to take the PKs. And what happens when you get 2 PKs? What's the percentage that you're going to get 2 out of 2? I think we're talking about it and reading articles like, it could be possibly that you make one and you miss one. But man, 2 on 2. What the first one greatly executed. The second one was pretty.
It
pretty
gave
unlikely.
me a heart attack. It really did. Give me a heart attack. I was.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
Didn't like the second one at all. I hope he doesn't try to get cute like that again. He is the best penalty taker on the team.
He's
the best penalty taker on the team.
Yeah.
But
You think Abris talked to him?
Abris said,
we gotta talk, bro.
Abris said on a conference that he's gonna talk to him not to do that again.
Good. Yeah, can you imagine him doing that?
I know he said he doesn't like it. He doesn't like things like that.
Yeah, but you know what? If it would have come out perfectly, like a Messi Panenka, we wouldn't be talking about this. We'd be talking about how great of a goal it was.
That's the reason what to do in a Panenka, though.
I think we'd still be talking about it. Why take that risk? He can put it up in that corner where it's inalcanzable every time. I'm confident that he can. So why not do that? Anyone can try a Panenka and fail.
I can just imagine Louis in the stadium watching that penalty, like having a real live heart attack, watching it.
Yeah, well,
I've seen it for less things like that.
That's the goal on my side. That's the goal on my side of the pitch too.
Yeah.
So I had a looking right at it, and I'm like, no, dude. The first one, no matter how Alcalá had jumped, he would not have been able to take that.
That was
in
just
a million years.
Perfect.
He could not have.
Right on the top corner.
And Ángel Mena is capable of doing that every time he strikes the ball from the spot. So I don't know. I did not like the Panenka, but luckily it just grazed off of the foot and did not come out.
Well, luckily for us, the goalkeeper missed it. Like he missed kicking the ball before, because that was a horrible Panenka.
Yep.
Yeah, it was not a well executed Panenka. Yeah.
Oh God! But hey, Mena.
But I'm glad that Mena will be taking the PKs again. I don't remember who was among us that was saying that they needed to get Macias goals so that his value was high. So he was taking all of them. But I think Mena is a better PK taker. So
Yeah,
I'm glad,
and I think
I'm glad he'll be the guy now.
And he officially has now 25 goals, which is kind of impressive. I'm pretty sure
I think he's going for that. Jose.
Is that true, Jose? Does he have 25? I don't know if I'm making that up. Does he have 25 goals with Leon? Or never mind.
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's around the range because I saw it in a tweet. So yeah, you're about the. It's like 24, 25.
Which is impressive because he's only been there for a year and like a couple of days.
Yeah, well, that's counting. Like his like career season that was in the clausura.
Yeah, well, hopefully he repeats this season. Like, the Queretaro game, I really felt like we needed to win this game at home because otherwise it could mark like what could be the rest of the season, great start of the decade. That's how I see it. Great start.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I was going to bring that up actually. Like, since usually when we win the first game of the season, since we came back, there's been, let's see, 7 times when we started off the season with the win.
Okay.
And out of those 7 times, 6 we made Liguilla and once we didn't.
So I remember the one where we didn't. That was Clausura 2018. They went to Atlas and won jornada uno, and then had a huge fall off at the end of the season.
Yeah, actually Diaz, and then
won their first 2 games that season, and then had a huge fall off. Didn't
that's the season for the first time when there's like a coach coming in that Leon doesn't qualify to. Yeah, I remember that. That was not cool. Not a cool
that's accurate.
Cool.
Yeah, we're 2020 now.
A couple of other things to point out throughout the game. Obviously, we had substitutions. We've just briefly talked about it. Ramos kind of subbing off with an injury. It appeared that he had ice day on the bench. Campbell subbing in. Then we had Jairo to the floor. Was algo muscular. He was substituted out. And Osvi substituted in position for position. And we had our youngster, 16-year-old debut, Saul Zamora, number 256. Which was great to see him on the field and kind of, pushing the youngsters through. Obviously they have to get the youngster minutes in. How do we see him? Any guys want to?
Well, I saw him play with Carlos, and
we saw him.
I'm pretty sure Carlos liked him too. Like, I was like, wow.
He looked super solid.
He's 16.
Yeah, he looked super solid in the friendly here in LA when Leon played Chivas. Yeah, we thought he looked pretty solid. But I mean, that was a friendly.
Exactly.
I think his nerves were probably way higher debuting in the Liga MX. But I mean, it's great that we're debuting another midfielder. We've produced quite a few. I mean, hopefully he can stay with the first team.
Well,
especially in that same position, right?
Yep.
Well, either he or Ambriz are either he or Fidel Ambriz are going to be required to see the field in order to complete the regla de juveniles. Those are our only 2 options, and they have to play a certain number of minutes. So we're gonna whether they do well or not, we're going to be seeing them. So I hope they do well.
Me too.
It was a pretty small sample size. It was a pretty small sample size for Zamora this time, but.
What was that, Carlos?
Carlos?
I was saying, is Jose Ivan Rodriguez still young enough to qualify for?
No.
No. Something already.
Okay.
He's
from, you have to be under 21.
He's from 1996.
23 now.
So he's 23
or 24.
Yeah.
23.
There's Iker Jimenez too, so that's 3 of them with Saul and Fidel.
Is Fidel and Saul both from León, Guanajuato? I know Saul is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're both from León, Guanajuato.
That's great. That's for me. That's
they both are because they had a a picture like when they were like younger, and then
they
a
were
picture
kids,
now,
right?
and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
They've been they've been all the way. It would be awesome if they both make it like be futures like players for our club, because I mean they've been going all the way from the sub-13 to
Dang.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine winning a title
Well,
this
good
year.
luck for them.
I'm not sure.
Or
that'd
this
be
year. Or this
that'd be
year.
awesome.
Winning the Conca Champions.
So, question: I know we've had a discussion, every single pod about Aquino. We've talked about him returning and how much he owes the fan base. He played a total of 8 games last season. Due to injuries and many other things. But now he's back. He started. What do we think about his performance? Is he going to be a starter again? Give me y'all's overall kind of performance. Review about him.
Who else do you put? Are you gonna put Ivan Ochoa?
Anybody but that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Are those our only options?
No, well, the other
right
option,
now, yeah.
The other option is
Zamora, right?
Zamora or Ambriz into a starter, but I don't think either one is probably ready for that.
Yeah, that's too much of a step, I think.
But
and then, of course, when
did he do well Saturday night, or was it a very discreet performance? Did we expect
Aquino?
more? Was he
Aquino?
Pedro Aquino.
Oh, I think he was. It was like the same. What I thought about Sosa and Meneses. They did their job. It wasn't. They didn't. I mean, I don't think he made any kind of mistake that really. Yeah, you could say, I don't think he should be starting. I like what he said during the week, when the whole rumors of him going to Cruz Azul, he said that he feels like he owes the fans of León. And I think he's right. And in the sense that, he's still in León. They paid a lot of money to have him here. And it's kind of like what I feel about Ramos too. Like, and they're players that they have to show something before we can just discredit them and then, put somebody else in that position. But I think hopefully Aquino does better as the tournament progresses. If not, give it to Zamora, but not Ivan Ochoa. I don't like Ivan Ochoa.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ramos comparison is a little harder to make because Ramos. I mean, there was a guy in his position who had the entire league and country's eyes on him, and so Aquino would have been a starter this whole time, I feel, if he'd been able to stay healthy. The entire time that he's been in the club, I think he'd have been a titular indiscutible. But he just couldn't stay healthy. I mean, the minutes were not there for him because of his own problems, not because there was anybody in front of him on the depth chart. Yeah. I mean, you could say that Ivan Rodriguez at his peak would have pushed him out of that starting role, but they never really had a chance to compete for this spot. And they still don't because now Ivan is out.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when he comes back, then there will be a real discussion for who should be starting there in the contención, unless they want to play with doble contención and change things up a little bit. I mean, when Ivan Rodriguez is back, there will be options there. Right now, as Jose says, there aren't really. Who else do you put to play big minutes at the contención? Because the cachorros aren't ready yet, and there isn't really anybody else right now.
Now, what would happen when the Conca Champions starts? Oh, you think some of them will get a chance to play maybe in La Liga? Or, I don't know. See, what do you guys feel León is really focused on? The Conca Champ beating LAFC, or like to titulares in that sense?
Well, I mean, it's still 5 weeks until the first Conca Champions match, and we have 5 jornadas between now and then. So for now, I mean, the focus has to be the Liga. You're not thinking about your lineup for a doble fecha that's not happening for another 5 weeks.
Now I'm only asking
as it gets closer.
Yeah, I'm only asking this because Yarbrough still hasn't found a team, right? As I know.
No, yeah, he's
and he's gone.
Even though he's in a team, he doesn't come for a number.
Nacho didn't even put him in the sub-20. He put Fassi and some other kid. And with Queretaro, it was Cota and Pozos. So we're hoping that Cota plays Liga and Conca Champions, right? Or is someone going to play Liga?
I mean, when you're talking about
Fassi,
when you're talking about your A and B team, you're talking about your A and B team to use in an international tournament and your regular league tournament, I don't think you're really thinking too much about the goalkeeper. You're mostly thinking about about the midfield and attacking positions.
Yeah,
I think your defense, your back line, and your goalkeeper are probably going to stay pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that maybe Yarbrough could have stayed one more tournament so you can just so I don't know. It's one of those things, but at the same time, I realize his salary is a lot, so that could probably be why.
Yeah.
Well, I can see like around that when we have two games in a week, I could see him switching the center back duo positioning. Why? Because we have a lot of people open, and obviously it'd be very tough to expect a lot. And like we've had a doble jornadas killed us last season. And
we weren't even playing like Copa MX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean?
It was just,
and it's been a while since we played it. So that's why.
I mean, that itself is kind of like if it was two competitions, because it's like back to back, even though it's the same competition.
I just hope we go all the way out for the Conca Champions. I think that's. I don't know. Do you guys feel?
I think
one. What do you guys see more?
Yeah, I think at least because it's Liga MX and Conca Champions, I think the goalkeeper is probably going to be the same. Because like Luis says, like usually goalkeepers, they don't run a lot. They usually stay in their area. So I don't think they are. It's a position that you don't actually have to go all out to the field, and you're gonna be tired on the next match. So I think that's probably gonna stay the same if we wanna compete, like no matter what, in Liga MX and Conca Champions. But how Kari was saying, like probably I do agree that the center backs are probably gonna change.
Yeah. Even contención. Probably also Nico Sosa. When is he going to be ready?
He's not ready.
I think they're just waiting for him to get some paperwork done. Cause
he's already he's discarded for our next game.
Santos.
Yeah, and maybe even for jornada 3 too.
That far?
So I don't know.
He might even. He might even get playing time.
We got to take the calendar into account too. So before the first match with LAFC, they visit Luis and then have 3 full days off before the home match against LAFC. It's a short trip. They have 3 full days off in between. I don't know. I could see them using close to the same lineup in both of those games, and then possibly mixing it up a little bit against Necaxa in the following jornada. I don't know. We really don't know right now. I think a lot of it also depend on how we do in that first game. And if we take a huge lead, go up like 3-0 at home or something, they might be a little more conservative in the return leg in LA. Putting out an extra contención and leaving out like Chapo or so, I don't know. There's a million things they could do to try to weather that storm, depending on how that first game goes. If they feel like they have some more margin for error in that second game, we might see a really different, a very different lineup. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of things we can't say yet. And maybe Nico Sosa comes in and just kills it, and he's really, really good from the get-go, and he's starting to score, and he feels really comfortable, and then he's a legit option to start up front. And then he could send somebody like Ismael Sosa or even Ramos to the bench, and then we have another option there. I think there's just a lot of things we can't say yet about the possible lineups for games that are too far in the future.
Yeah. That's definitely true. I think we'll definitely, have a pod regarding Liga MX and how it would probably look for Conca Champions. So wrapping up that, we're going to quickly preview versus Santos. Last season, we drew 2-2, a very intense game. Excuse my dogs in the background. Very intense game with Santos when they ended up in the draw. We did not get to meet them in Liguilla. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Santos is coming from a loss. We're coming from a victory at home, and we're visiting. I think what Santos is going to do, which I think Almada is pretty much known for, is he's going to press high. I think Leon should take that in consideration and being able to exploit them. Go ahead.
So, yeah, no. So, how do we have an answer now to the pressure? Because last time it really hurt.
I don't think so, because I saw some pressure from Queretaro this weekend, and we had no answer for it. So it's going to be tough.
We had no answer for it. They settled in though. I think our lineup spent about a half getting settled in and getting comfortable. There's some guys in there while they've been on the team together, hadn't really played extended minutes together, like Aquino and Ramos and Barreiro. These guys have not played a lot together. I feel like they settled in and they got better, and I think that could bode well. But that stadium has just never been kind to us. It's one of, I believe, two. I believe it's one of only two remaining where I've never seen León win. Yeah.
Well, let's hope they do this.
And usually they're blowouts. Usually they're blowouts. They do not play well up there. I'm praying this is the time that changes.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like
and Furch just. I mean, it's a given that Furch is going to score against us. He never doesn't score. He always scores against us.
We should fear Huevo Lozano because he last season was on fire. So definitely expect him to come and show up. I'm just worried about, again, defensively, how that's going to look like. Although Santos did struggle with Xolos. Xolos had 4 shots. And
they struggled mightily with a Xolos team that they should not have struggled against that badly. I was surprised by that. That was one of the more surprising fixtures of the jornada. And it gave me hope when I saw them play that way. That does not mean they'll play that way in their home opener. And against León, I mean, so many things are different. Two different teams, different games, different place. But that was an encouraging sign to see Santos, which is slated to be pretty much, at least in the regular season, as good as they were last time. They're still projected to be a very, very strong club. So it gave me hope when I saw them struggle. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do? Are we looking to see the same lineup? Should we? I feel like this season, we're going to have to move a lot of pieces as we go. Why? Because we have new players adapting. We have, to change depending on the game. So for this game versus Santos, we've said Santos is going to press high. They're going to be up there pounding us, and we're going to have to be careful. I think I saw some improvement on Yairo. I don't know if he's going to start, but some improvement in him playing defensively compared to last season, where it was just, he was great up top when he, was running up on the wing. It's just when it got time to, actually defend, he wasn't that great. I thought I saw a difference this past week. So what do we need to do? Are we going to keep the same defensive line? What do you guys think? Do we need to change something regarding this game?
Take a Barreiro para it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I would love to see them take out Barreiro, but I think they want to get Barreiro settled in as a starter. I think they want him to be the guy. They want him to be the guy. He's he's the new acquisition, and they want everyone to see that he can do it.
It was a good decision.
That it was a good decision. I mean, I don't see any reason why they would change the lineup. I expect to see the same lineup. But what I want to see more. I want to see them generating more peligro on both wings. Basically, everything was coming up the right hand side this last time until Campbell came in and kind of switched things, kind of made things a little more balanced. But it was mostly everything going up the right. Like I said, it reminded me of when Elias was here, and he was the only guy who could do anything on either wing. So the ball would always go to him, and you knew it was going to him. And that he was going to then try to cross it into Boselli. I mean, that was the game. That was our game plan for 3 years. But now, what puts us over the top compared to those teams is we have danger. We can create danger all along that front line and on both wings. But Sosa and Meneses had kind of quiet games. We really didn't see it from them. We need to see more from them to generate that danger up front that's become sort of a trademark of the Ambris era.
Yeah,
but I do like that we don't have to worry about getting Macias the ball anymore. You know, I think it's bad. It's never good to lose a player of that quality, but I think the guys can open up a little bit more and show what they've got now that they don't have to worry about him.
Well, look, I don't want to make comparisons, but it's kind of like I don't like making comparisons, but it's kind of like when Boselli left. Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
Exactly. We all thought it like, well, maybe Leon will play different, which who knows, maybe it'll be more successful. And it is what it is. It happened like that. And same thing with Macias. I think, and look, and this is a dumb one, but it's kind of like when I see Argentina play with Messi and without Messi. Sometimes they do pretty well without Messi. And when Messi plays, it's like a lot of pressure. Just give him the ball, let him resolve the whole game.
Yeah,
I think when everybody's looked at as equal.
Yeah, well, when Macias' first tournament with us, he was not that guy. He was just this kid who hadn't gotten a chance. He came in and he started doing really well. Then the second season, when he was already a proven star, then the pressure was on, not just on him to score, but the players around him to get the ball at his feet, you know, taking all the PKs, and then the pressure from the front office to try to show him off as much as they could because, you know, trying to make his value skyrocket.
Yeah,
we just don't have any of that going on with our attacking players now. I think I don't know. I agree. I agree with you, Javier. I don't know if it's exactly the same kind of situation because Boselli was a club legend.
Yeah,
Macias never didn't get to the point of being a club legend.
No,
but I think in terms of the way the team plays without a guy like that around, I think it's very comparable. I don't like making comparisons either, but I think in this case it's a worthwhile comparison to make because I think it's just going to open things up for those other guys. Take some pressure off the guys who are left, and I think that will bode well for us.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely what I kind of saw. The one thing that I hope I didn't see was Leon not making opportunities, because they always make a lot of opportunities, even though they're not making, they're not scoring. As long as you're making opportunities, I think that's a good sign. And then Queretaro didn't really. I felt Queretaro, the only reason why they score was because of falta de concentración. But that being said, with Santos, I just hope what Leon does is continue to create oportunidades and just. We all know
solid in the back.
Yeah, we all know Santos is going to attack, so we need to be solid. And I think Leon does pretty well cuando contragolpea. I think it does pretty well. But I don't want to see them too defensive, because both my uncle and my dad, they said they didn't like the second half that much because it just felt like Leon was just back defending. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's kind of what I don't want to ever see in my team. It's not like I don't want Ambris to play like Matosas, because then that's why we would always get scored on. But I do like seeing my team go forward. But also I think maybe, especially the game against Morelia, I think the most important thing that we should learn by now is having control of the game. Just having control
of the game. Sense of urgency when we're down on the board.
Yeah, not just when they score first, because it was like. It kind of felt like Jose said last season. It's like first they score on us, and then it's like, oh, now let's play for real. Like, how about we play for real?
How about we don't put ourselves in that situation?
Yeah, well, that's what you were saying, Gotti. When they scored on us in the 6th minute, and you were like, here we go again. I think
it literally felt like that. Like, we're gonna go through this whole emotional roller coaster, and it's gonna be okay at the end. We just have to get through the high and low.
That has plagued good Leon teams, not just last season. It's for a while, and only at home.
Only at home. Yeah.
When they go out on the road, I mean, it's not like they have a better chance to win necessarily, but they play. I feel like that sense of urgency is there from the
With less
beginning more
pressure?
often when they play on the road than when they play at home. I think I don't know. They just when they play at home, they just think the result's gonna fall their way, and to their credit, it usually does. But yeah, there's no reason why they shouldn't have that sense of urgency from the opening whistle.
Yes.
So we have a comment in regards to this game against Santos, saying against Santos you really need a doble contención because it will be la prueba de fuego for Aquino.
Yep.
What do we think?
So Aquino
Who else are gonna? Well, who else though? If it's a double contention,
I mean,
are you gonna
really
put Ivan Ochoa?
Well, it would be Zamora maybe.
Or Montes, but I don't want Montes playing in that position.
Yeah.
No, Montes needs to stay where he's at.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we can waste him doing.
We can't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Aquino has to be like for to answer his question. Like, yeah, it would be una prueba muy importante, but I think that's why Aquino is worth what he is. You know, he has to be up for the challenge against Santos. Doble contención is interesting, but like we all were saying, who would we put with? Aquino, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
Yeah.
So
I think
go ahead, Carlos.
Two keys to the game against Santos. I think number one is defense. We have to be solid defensively because I mentioned it last season against Santos, against America, against Tigres. If you mess up somewhere in the midfield and you lose the ball, they're going to make you pay.
Yeah.
So we have to be solid defensively. Number two is we have to somehow figure out how to break the high pressure. If we can break the high pressure, we can get out into the field and hopefully Meneses or Mena can attack and create something. But I think those are the two major keys for this game.
Yeah, no fouling in dangerous areas. No fouling in dangerous areas. They always seem to have these guys who can kill you on free kicks. I don't remember who. I was watching the game against Tijuana. I don't remember who it was.
It was Doria, but that was a surprise. It was a surprise,
but they always seem to have these guys who can kill you on free kicks if they have a straight shot at it. And I seem to remember this happening before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Santos always.
Is Yairo 100%, or do we know anything yet?
I heard he had a concussion. That's all. Jose scared me.
I was
we'll never see him again. I was like,
Scotty,
I'm out. No more podcasts.
Scotty, you had said it was a muscular thing. But I think he got raked across the head or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took him off because he temporarily lost vision. He couldn't see.
Yeah.
That's why they had to wheel him off because he couldn't see.
Yeah, and he was there. The ball went out. He just sat on the floor. Why I got muscular was I thought I think I saw it on Twitter. One of the reporters said something about that. That's why I threw it on there. But
I checked, but they haven't no one has said anything about it. They just said that he was fine, but that they were gonna do some tests on him, I guess, today to see if he was good to go for the next match. But so far, I haven't heard anything.
I was watching it on Univision, and right when the play happened, and then he left straight to the hospital. Someone there said they think it was a concussion. He got hit because then they showed the replay, and it showed, and that's why he was holding his head. So in my heart of hearts, I went, hopefully that's what really happened. Not that I want anybody to have a concussion, but because then I read Jose what he wrote, and people were saying, no, he's going to be out for a while, and I was like, geez.
Once they mentioned hospital, I was thinking the worst, to be honest.
Hey man, don't Donald Trump me, bro. Anyway,
so taking in consideration, if Yairo is 100%, do we repeat the same lineup? Is that what's going to happen? The better yet question.
I think if Osvaldo starts and then Yairo comes, I think either would work. It's up to Andres. I don't know. It could possibly be the same lineup though, because no one got significally.
I agree.
You guys said Ramos got hurt, so
yeah.
If Yairo's good to go, I think we're gonna repeat the lineup.
It just depends if Yairo can play or not.
Yeah, I don't think Barreiro's gonna be out, even though he didn't look that great. But I think that it's good for him to adapt himself to the team. because I have a certain optimism for this guy. I feel like playing with Leon, playing with a higher level team is going to probably elevate his game. If you keep in mind, the teams that he's played for is Atlas and Pachuca, the two of which aren't contenders really. They haven't really been contenders in the past. For Atlas, it's been a while, Atlas. But Pachuca, it's been a while as well. So playing for a contender and playing with some players at a high level might just do the guy some good. He might elevate his game. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, hopefully for us.
Well, I hope if he has a chance to clear a ball off a line that he'll dive for it. I looked at that replay 100 times and I said, dude, if you had slid, you probably could have kicked that ball off the line. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he could have. And I feel like Mosquera would have gone for it, whether he got it or not.
To be fair, he did take one in the chest for us.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah.
Towards the end of the game, he looked a little bit. He started to look a little bit more comfortable. I'll give him that.
He knew we had to do something cool, or else we would just. He knew what was happening. But yeah, I don't think Barredo's gonna be substituted. I think he's gonna play. I mean, I like Ramiro a lot. I think he plays well. I don't know where I don't know where he just stopped being titular. I know Akiwa. Sometimes he has. I don't know if Louis likes him. I remember him telling me. Akiwa. I don't know about him, but
he's by far the lowest on the depth on the depth chart in terms of center backs. He's the lowest for me.
I put Nacho. I big time put Nacho before him. But I think Barredo's gonna probably be titular until something. Maybe he gets a red card. Then probably that's when we'll see Ramiro or Akiwa, whoever. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be the same lineup unless something crazy happens this week, which I hope nothing happens. But yeah, hopefully it's the same lineup against Santos. And the game is on Sunday, right? Sunday with Santos?
Yes.
Sunday.
6:45
CT, and the times for y'all. Okay. So yes.
Well, let me just respond. A comment called me out here, so let me just respond to Enfierate.
Dun dun dun.
He can't believe that I speak of Navarro like a defense. He's a false five, but he lines up as a right back. He lines up as a defender, and he has defensive capabilities, whether you think of his role as a traditional defender or not. And a lot of goals and a lot.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
no, Louis.
We
lost Louis.
You probably got mad, like, look, man, don't call me out. And then
come back.
See what you cause? Enfierate.
Louis, come back.
Sorry, Louis, you froze.
There you go.
Yeah.
You froze.
Sorry,
we heard like two words.
Yeah.
It's that Mexico Wi-Fi.
Oh, he froze again.
It's true though.
Someone messaged him.
I live there. It's not good.
Exit out and come back again. Anyways, well, this is why we have open discussion and a live chat, so we can all talk about, Leon and kind of give each other's inputs. And if we agree with each other, we disagree. Even here, us, we can have, three of us agree with one thing, and two of us, otherwise. So,
we love Jackie. No one loves him, but he loves him. You can always have disagreements, but come over, write your, what you think. It's your opinion. And we'll, of course, talk about it, debate it. That's what this podcast is about. It's not just our opinions. It's everybody that goes for Leon and speak English, of course. That's what we kind of want to do. It's a community of ideas. And I think this podcast and when we interact with people on Twitter is incredible. I think it's exactly where all of this is going if you really kind of just think about it. I think more people are kind of want to have their opinions. It's kind of outside of television, it's kind of like a lot of people I've heard are like not watching TV that much, but they're always on their phone. So it's an alternative. That's all we're trying to do. It's an alternative. And also, like I said, it's a different way of interacting. You know, it's not like in TV they're going to read the tweets of people. Sometimes they do, you know, but this is like live. You know, you can write something and then we'll just talk about what you just said. Like Louis, right now, who is back, is going to answer.
Sorry, yeah.
In Fiat, Agam. Come
Yeah,
on, bro. Why you call him out, bro?
Sorry, my Wi-Fi cut out for a second. Whether you, he said he doesn't like that I speak of Navarro like a defender. Well, he is a defender. I hate to break it to you. He lines up as a right back, whether you think he's a traditional right back or not. He has defensive responsibilities that don't have anything to do with his technical skill in the attack, which he definitely has some. And we talk about positionless basketball, like that. What the NBA is now. Well, it's sort of true in football too. Outside backs are expected to get into the attack in some way, and Navarro is a very versatile player. You see him getting into the attack. He contributes to a lot of positive goals. He assisted on Ramos's goal, on the second goal on Saturday. He does a lot of positive things on defense, but we've also given up a ton of goals that have come directly as a result of his man getting away from him.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not you think of him as a traditional defender in the modern game, he definitely has defensive responsibilities. I feel like on Saturday he was a little bit better with them than what we'd seen towards the end of last season and at other points in his time with the team. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who really likes to get into the attack no matter where he lines up, but he's definitely, he lines up as a defender, so he has defensive responsibilities, whether you want me to talk about him or not.
Yeah.
There is Louis answering. So to end this Leon versus Santos preview, it's prediction time. So let's start with Javier. Your prediction for Sunday game, Leon versus Santos away.
Okay, so Santos has to win, and Leon, that being said, I think Leon is going to hopefully pressure Santos to the point where they know they got to win in their opening game at home. Hopefully they defend well. They're solid like we all want them to be, and maybe in contragolpe. So I think Leon wins 3-2 just because, I want Santos fans to be like, you're crazy, man. But 3-2. I think we could pull it off.
3-2. Javier. Very optimistic. Carlos, your prediction.
So like Javier said, Santos has to win. I think Leon is the underdog in this game. Santos, also, they're at home. It's their home opener. They don't want to lose against their home crowd. I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
Interesting. Okay. Carlos, 2-2 draw. Louis, you will be attending this game. Let me know, what is your scoreboard for Sunday night?
I will be attending this game. As I mentioned before, one of two current Liga MX stadiums that I've been to where I've never seen a Leon win. Really hoping that changes this time. It's going to be very, very, very difficult. As the previous two fellows, the previous two fellows mentioned, Santos is going to feel a real sense of urgency, especially after losing their opener to Tijuana somewhat unexpectedly. They don't want to drop a single point at home after that happening. So they're going to go out for it. I know Javier also was saying he doesn't want to see us as a sit back and counter type team normally, and I agree with that. But I think in this instance, with all the high pressure that Santos is likely to throw at us, I think there's a real opportunity there. That's probably going to be our best opportunity to do some damage. So, with my heart, I want to say a 2-1 win, but I think I'm going to go with agree with Carlos and go with a 2-2 draw.
I agree with you guys. I think it's gonna be 2-2, and then like the 90th minute, like out of nowhere, man,
from outside the box,
and then some crazy thing. That's what I want to see Leon throughout the season, like just crazy finishes, just winning like that. We don't have to win perfectly, like 5-0, but I think it's more probable a tie, even a loss. But I'm going to be optimistic until I just have no more faith or whatever. It's because it's been hard.
Interesting. Louis said 2-2, joined with Carlos, a draw. Jose, what is your prediction?
Louis and Carlos are probably gonna be right on the money, to be honest. But I'm gonna go with my heart because I want them to win. So I'm gonna go with a 3-2.
Yeah, there you go.
3-2.
Come on, bro.
Oh my God, we're split.
Yeah, like this.
Jose said 3-2.
You have to. You have the tiebreaker, Kari. Don't say 3-0 Santos like we lose and stuff like that.
like 3-0 but reverse.
Yeah.
I can definitely see the 2-2 draw happening all over again. But I also see it as a high scoring game because, like you guys have mentioned, Santos needs a win desperately at home. We're looking to rack up 3 more points and, get as many goals so we can continue being super leader at this point. I said I was going to be sophisticated, but I'm going to shoot high. I'm going to go for 4-2 Leon.
Wow.
Oh.
Jesus.
Okay.
That's too crazy.
Okay.
Like, whoa.
That was crazy. No, I'm playing. It could happen.
I feel like a 3-2 is what I'm more comfortable with. I just wanted to be the odd one and say a 4-2.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? Maybe they can get on a roll, It
could be 5-0, some crazy.
I'm just hoping, guys, there won't be a kit clash because that happened a couple seasons ago and that was horrible.
A kit clash?
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, I was at that game. Yeah.
Like they have similar uniforms or what?
Yeah, the uniforms were too similar. They had to stop the game for like 5 minutes, and Santos went back into the locker room and changed.
Oh yeah.
In the second half, they changed.
Forgot about that.
No. Before the second half, they went back and changed the jerseys, and then in the second half, they also changed shorts.
Before?
Yeah. They stopped the game because they were literally having the referees were literally having trouble telling the teams apart, and it was the funniest thing was that Santos was debuting like a special edition jersey, that game, and that looked too much like the ones we were. Oh, that looked too much like I think these were like the commemorative green and white striped ones, the ones that we started wearing when Landon Donovan was with the team.
Oh yeah.
This one,
right?
Yeah,
this one right here, right?
Yeah, that one. It was those. And Santos was debuting a special edition jersey that looked too similar. And I guess the protocol is when that happens that the home team has to change, not the visiting team.
So it's Santos' fault.
So Santos went back into the locker room, someone brought out a set of new kits for them to put on, and then in halftime they changed the shorts too.
Yeah. You don't run into that problem.
Yeah, that was the only time I'd ever seen something like that.
So are we gonna see that debut or your newly acquired jersey?
No, I think I'm gonna wear.
Never wear it, bro. Just hang it up. And it's gonna cost a lot of money in the future. It is.
No, I already wore it. I put it on for
yeah, he did.
Yeah. No, but I think I'm gonna wear the one. I think I'm gonna wear Carlos's favorite, the one with the yellow and white.
The yellow.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Put my sunglasses on for that one.
My eyes.
Gotta make it like a top 10 worst speed of my shirts of all time. I bet you there's some.
No, not even top 10. That goes top 3.
Top 3.
Not even.
The yellow one, the one right now. Which one else? The other yellow one from back in the day.
Yeah.
The polo yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that was all right, I guess. I'm not a yellow fan, but
I'm not a yellow fan either. It's like
that one over the one Carlos likes.
You like that one, Carlos?
Which one?
The one you need to put your sunglasses on. Just kidding.
Oh, Carlos.
That one hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
Before we move on to some quick Liga MX talk, we have someone on the chat giving us an input saying, I saw something in Barreiro too. He's able to come out playing. He sent a really good pass to either Mena. That could be a key when we play against teams like Santos to break the pressure. I think long balls are going to be key for this game, definitely. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of
give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is his. I mean, he comes out swinging and he gives us with the match, man of the match performance. That would be awesome, and then we win.
Give him more credibility.
He gets better and better. Hopefully, this game against Queretaro was just worse. Let's just hope that, and he just gets better and better. He gets, because I do feel that was a miscommunication with that goal that Queretaro.
Definitely, it was miscommunication.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that has to do with they haven't played with each other that long. So hopefully as the season progresses, we'll see less errors like that.
Yeah, I mean,
which are going to be key.
It's definitely. There's definitely, it's way too soon to write him off completely. I mean, I think we're affected by our belief that he was not a great player or a great signing to begin with. It's not like he came in with high expectations.
He made 2 autogoles with Tigres, right? Is that?
Yeah, he came in with very.
That's the only thing that came to my head when he came to Leon. Like, the dude that made 2 autogoles.
Yeah, he came in with very
low. He already has a bad reputation.
He came in with a bad reputation. And Jornada Uno didn't really do anything to raise his standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that does not mean that he won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give him a benefit of the doubt for a couple of the games.
Yeah. Yes, 16 matches.
Just as long as he doesn't score on us.
Yeah, no. No, please.
No, please. So that wraps up our preview versus Santos. We're going to just quickly brush on the other matches during Jornada 1. Morelia losing to Toluca. I saw that game. It was crazy.
Surprising.
I mean, honestly, that goal from Toluca pretty much came from a huge defensive error from Morelia, and Sosa was just wrong place at the wrong time. Like we've mentioned, Santos losing against Xolos, Atlas beating Cruz Azul, which is no surprise, right? I mean,
La misma Cruz Azuleada de siempre.
Yep.
La misma Cruz Azuleada de siempre.
No, exactamente. León, obviously, 3-1 victory over Querétaro. El Super Chivas, quote unquote, beating Juárez.
Super Chivas Galácticas 2.0.
Tigres tying. That was very dull game.
Tigres in San
Luis. 0-0,
right?
Yep.
The team that's the favorite to win an all tie versus San Luis. But San Luis did a pretty good job, but still.
Yeah.
Tigres tied 0-0. He didn't even manage to score 1 goal.
San Luis is probably better than they were last season, but still that's still a surprising result. Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see what Memo Vasquez does.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially because I was watching like ESPN, Fútbol Picante, and all that stuff, and they all kept saying, "Oh, el campeón va a ser Tigres." I heard Guignac interview. I saw it in his eyes. They're determined to win. Like, get out of here. Like, I think it's
not with that performance.
Yeah, I mean, they're always going to be a candidato, because it's just an easy answer to give. Who's favorites? Tigres, Mm-hmm. But I think there's other teams probably this season that have a better shot.
It's anybody's game.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. It's a league where the top 8 qualify. So we saw Monterrey qualify number 8. Anybody?
Yeah, that's the fun thing about Liga MX. Like, even if you qualify first, doesn't guarantee you that you're gonna win. Like, look at us. We qualified first, we didn't win.
Yeah,
I know.
Definitely.
It is.
And then Pumas winning 2-0 versus Pachuca, which was a pretty great game. Youngster for Pumas debut goes in, scores, awesome. So obviously we had America didn't play, Monterrey didn't play, Puebla was off, and Necaxa too. So they will all return for next week's matches. Juárez versus Pumas, which is on a Thursday. So we'll have Liga MX starting this Thursday. San Luis versus Cruz Azul, Atlas versus Puebla, Monterrey versus Morelia, Pachuca versus Chivas, which the irony of that, we'll talk about that. America versus Tigres, which is anyways, that's just whatever. Toluca versus Necaxa.
That's gonna be a draw. I call it. It's gonna be a draw.
It's gonna be a draw.
0-0.
Querétaro versus and Santos
1-1.
0-0. Watch. So quickly, does not take too long. So we gotta go for the people that are watching. Probably have other stuff to do. The whole pretty much topic of discussion is Pocho Guzman. I love that kid. I always thought his future was, I mean, he could still be, I don't know how this will affect it, but his potential of
the new Carlos Carmona
playing
Salvador.
playing in Europe. Chivas acquired him 10 millones de dólares, which now it's going to be a transaction that will be canceled. Apparently, Pocho Guzman tested positive for a substance 6 months ago when he was still playing in Pachuca, which I think that puts everybody at fault. I mean, it's just ridiculous, right?
Well, it's crazy because when that happens, I'm pretty sure obviously the player knew and Pachuca knew, and I'm hearing that La Federación Mexicana knew. So why wasn't it like ever like announced in the sense where, because he still played games, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was allowed to go to Chivas, which is interesting. You know, like fue plan con maña the whole time.
Yeah.
You can expect anything. Bonilla knew how the conditions in Veracruz were.
Yeah, he did.
Like, you can just expect anything and everything. And the fact that, not, we knew that he wasn't, he didn't show up for training. He wasn't considered to play this game. And then all these rumors are building up and, nothing official was coming out. And, the Chivas fans were getting like kind of pissed off. Like, you guys don't know anything. I'm like, yeah, but the fact that there's no transparency, there's nothing being said makes it more shady. And, we saw him landing in Mexico City.
Yeah, that's shady. That right there is shady because he's already acting like, I mean, if you have nothing to hide or nothing, there was no foul play, you don't have, because it's contraproducente. Like, you're just going to get more attention to yourself. And, like, why would you even, but that being said, like, it's pretty clear that he lawyered up already and everything like that. So it's going to, I don't know if it's already a done deal that the transacción is going to be denied, or because I think that Pachuca is going to probably try to fight. Oh, we didn't know. We sold him to Chivas. We had no idea about that, but I'm pretty sure they did have an idea.
But it's a responsibility, though. It's a responsibility.
Aparte, the responsibility of the team, of the club, and the Federación, and somehow I don't know how it works, but these kind of things they get. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it goes all the way to FIFA or something like that, right? Whenever there's a player that is positive and doping, it's a crazy situation in the sense that the kid he's the one who scored that definitive goal against Monterrey in the final, so he's that was like 3 years ago or something like that. So he's a player that we all kind of saw had a lot of future. Por eso le costó almost like 10 million to Chivas. I think if you ask Chivas fans,
I think it was like
8 million. Yeah, I had a friend who was telling me like that's one of the players they wanted to see come to Guadalajara. I'm not going to put JJ Macías because that's like a return, but
it's not even count
yeah. But the player that they bought this season, that's one that. So yeah, that's gonna suck for them for the whole hype that they had with the what they're calling them now, las Chivas Galácticas, whatever. But yeah, it's one of those situations where I think every time I try to looking for some information on TV like Fútbol Picante or Capitanes, they're just I haven't seen anything till right now. But yeah, it's just kind of gonna go down to whether or not Chivas is gonna get their money back. I think they should. I think it's a messed up situation for Chivas and their organization and everything, but I don't know if this happens anywhere else. It's one of those things. Like, if people knew, why wasn't it ever? It's just shady. I think
it is.
Yeah.
I think the situation happened with Santos and Veracruz with Isihara, and saying that the player was injured, and it kind of became this whole other thing. It's things like that where I guess we really don't know what the story is, but we know that a lot of people are at fault for it, and it's hard to trust a legitimate league with things like this. But apparently he's going to take another test. We'll see how this story unfolds and what's actually going to happen. But for right now, it's Baja de Chivas, so we'll hear in the next couple of days, seeing what's going on with that, and we'll just keep you guys updated probably next week and see what's going on. So Yes, we are wrapping up Monday Night Football. Thank you guys for everything tonight, engaging with us, following us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every single Monday Night Football, we'll be here delivering all the Club Leon content in English. Don't forget to follow us at the Lions Den Pod on Twitter. Follow us on our accounts, as we will keep you updated during games, live tweeting. Don't forget to follow Club Leon Ing, which will give you guys everything you need to know pre-game, post-game, during the game. Awesome clips to keep you updated on the goals and everything that's happening. So thank you guys for another Monday Night Football. Javier, Carlos, Louis, and Jose, thank you guys for tonight. Shout out to Enfierate for giving us his input, she input. I don't know who's behind that account.
He or she.
Leon and P7 and everybody that has jumped on and off. Thank you for your support, and we'll be here next week. Hopefully another victory Monday versus Santos. So thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you later.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
See you later. Thank you.